BRICS, with its core members Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has a summit ongoing as we speak. Rio de Janeiro is hosting the dialogue this year, but it is being overshadowed. The BRICS summit started on Sunday, and within hours, US President Donald Trump tweeted this: "Any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff." So why is Trump calling BRICS anti-American? Do the BRICS members care about Trump's stance? And how can the US-BRICS feud affect you? And we decode these questions in the latest episode of HT In Depth. Let's get started. BRICS began as an idea before it became a bloc. Coined in 2001 by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill, it was shorthand for fast-growing economies poised to reshape the global order. But the acronym turned into action in the year 2009, when 4 countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, formally met. South Africa joined in 2010, turning BRIC into BRICS. These countries realized they had size, population, and growing markets, but did not have equal power at the conventional tables. Looking at the potential, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates joined as full members. Saudi Arabia, key US ally, is yet to bite the bullet on BRICS. The grouping also has 10 strategic partner countries.
With BRICS
is the heir to the non-aligned movement. With multilateralism under attack, our autonomy is in check once again. Hard-won advances in areas such as climate and trade are under threat.
As a whole, BRICS today represents almost half of the world's population, 36% of global land area, and a quarter of the global economic output. The idea that countries can come together as equals to challenge the status quo and shape the future is unsettling to the United States. After all, it's a nation used to not just having a seat at the table, but leading it. And this is the space Trump is coming from when he goes against BRICS countries. Trump's attitude towards BRICS isn't as direct as NATO and the United Nations. He has clear strategic and ideological differences. Let's first take de-dollarization. For decades, the dollar has been the default currency for almost everything: oil deals, trade, international loans. That gives the US enormous power, sanction bites harder, and makes America a latent middleman in almost all deals. BRICS wants to change that. They are pushing for trade in local currencies, building currency swap lines, and floating the idea of a common BRICS currency, which is, of course, a far-fetched idea at the moment. Second is alternative global institutions. Because the World Bank and IMF have historically been US-led with voting rights skewed, for the global South that means loan often comes with Western strings attached. BRICS came up with a new development bank. The aim is that this body will allow countries to create their own path of development on their own terms. One script won't be followed by all. And third is multipolarity. BRICS hopes to continue expanding where everyone gets an equal seat at the table. This idea is again alien to the US. Trump prefers simple binaries: America versus China, the West versus Iran. But BRICS is messy. It talks about development of both US allies like India and rivals like China. So when Trump says that BRICS is anti-American, in real terms it means that the grouping does not cater to his America First policy. Like de-dollarization isn't aimed at hurting Washington, rather to strengthen the developing economies. Whether it will undermine the strength of the dollar or not will just be a byproduct of the decision. But the US president isn't convinced.
Yeah, but BRICS was put there for a bad purpose, and most of those people don't even want to talk about it now. They're afraid to talk about it because I told them if they want to play games with the dollar, then they're going to be hit with a 100% tariff the day they mention that they want to do it. And they will come back and say, we beg you not to do this. BRICS is dead since I mentioned that.
BRICS obviously isn't dead. If it had been, Trump wouldn't be threatening to impose a unilateral 10% tariff on all the group members. His administration is seeking to finalize dozens of trade deals with a wide range of countries before his July 9th deadline for the imposition of significant retaliatory tariffs. While BRICS members are discussing their own trade deals with Washington, this 10% tariff will come over and above. The main point in this tug of war for power is that you will have to pay more. Despite what is widely believed and Trump has propagated on many instances, the burden of the tariffs usually falls on the customer. So the tariffs on everything that the US imports from BRICS countries, like crude oil from Brazil, pharma ingredients from India, electronics from China, and different metals from South Africa, will be most likely passed on to the customers and hence will be paid by common people like you and me. It's not like BRICS doesn't have its own fault lines. The Bloc may speak of unity, but scratch beneath the surface and you'll find deep divisions, especially when it comes to geopolitics. But here's the thing, BRICS isn't trying to be perfect, it's trying to be different. A group that challenges a system dominated by the West for far too long. And that's exactly why Trump sees it as a threat. Any bloc that dares to reimagine the world order runs against the US worldview. But the question is, as power finds its new home, will you and I be footing the bill? And if yes, till when?
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.